Welcome back, boys and girls. It's your boy Menace, and today I have for you a video on Doctor Doom. This is going to be a complete breakdown of Doctor Doom, and while a video like this may has been done before, as more and more people who aren't whales grab Doctor Doom, I wanted to give a more comprehensive uh, understanding of him, so that way, as you get him and unlock him, you can know what to expect and hit the ground running with him and catch up for all the people who wailed hard and got him before you. So here we go. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations. Uh, Dark Dimension 4 is down. You can finally slow getting clapped by the others with Doom since you don't have them. And you can start leveling the characters you want and not the ones you have to. You get to rock that green border of pride, and of course, you get all the gear from completing Dark Dimension. So, congratulations. The worst is over. So, let's get into the basics of Doom. So, Doom is a villain. He's global. He's mystic and tech, and he's also a controller. You're going to want to ISO him as a striker, and you're going to want to T4 everything. His basic, his special, his ultimate, and his passive. He takes both tech and mystic gear. It's going to be 4 slots of tech and 2 slots of mystic. So if you're going to be gearing him, I would lean into the tech much more. The tier 13 unique is going to be the Massima. And you're going to use Doom in everything. War, raids, blitz, arena, RTA, doesn't matter. You'll see Doom there. He is a meta character, but Silver Surfer and Kestrel are the only characters at the time of this video that kind of stole his spotlight and kind of took over. Now, he's still really good, but those two kind of trump him a little bit. So, here are the things that are interesting about his stats. So, a fully maxed Doom is going to have 650k health. He's going to do about 35,000 damage a hit. And what's really interesting about Doom is look at this focus of 22,000, meaning everything is going to land that you throw. And the accuracy, meaning that he's never going to miss. So we'll get into his abilities and things like that and see how to work him. But just as you can see from this, his base stats are really solid when he's fully maxed. The thing that I find deceptive about this, now his speed is 111, which isn't slow at all, but when you're in these fights with Doom, you will find that it will feel much slower. And I think the most of that is just anticipation. So just be patient. You'll really have fun with him when he gets going. All right, so let's get into his abilities. The first is going to be his basic. It's called Science and Sorcery, and it's going to attack the primary target for 365% or 60% damage and apply Disrupted. So what you got to remember about that is, again, with a base stat of 35k, he's going to be hitting over 100k every shot. All right. So the other thing about that is going to be if he's charged, which comes from using his ultimate, he's going to flip 2 positive effects to negative effects, and then lose a charge. Now, what that basically means is that he gets 3 additional turns with his ultimate, but that means that when you hit the ult and you're looking to find out who you want to soften up, just keep in mind that you're going to be flipping debuffs at that time, and you can take defense down to a defense, or defense up to a defense down. You can take a death proof to a heal block, things like that. You can really kind of put your opponent against the wall in that time period. So remember, there is a charge mechanic with Doom, and that he is going to be flipping positive effects after you use the ultimate. So keep that in mind when you're doing him. Now, his his nuke is actually in his special. So it's going to be available right away, turn 1. And I'm going to teach you a little trick with this that you'll pick up real quick, and it's not some trade secret, but it's definitely something it takes a minute to realize. And really you only figure it out after people have done it to you. But the special, what's going to happen is it's available turn 1. It's going to attack all the enemies for 500% damage. And then it's going to apply that heal block. And then for every Doombot ally you have on the field, it's going to do an extra 100% damage. After you do this, it kills all your Doombots, which isn't the end of the world. It basically because basically the fight's over at that point. The next thing on his roster is going to be his ultimate. Now, this thing is really fun. What this does is it'll clear all the negative effects from you. Will heal you. It will also heal the highest allied damage, remove all their debuffs, like bring you right back to full health and give you 3 straight turns. Okay, so you'll get 3 turns for Doom, and you'll get 3 turns with the next highest damage character you have. All right, so here's how this plays out. When you use the ultimate, you get 3 turns, meaning that you'll get at least 2 or 3 Doombots. I forget if it's 2 or 3 in practice, but it should be 3. What this means is that you're going to get defense up, you're going to get speed up, and you're going to get offense up, depending on the number of Doom's bots you have out on the field. So when the ult goes off, it's going to wreck shop. All right. Now, the other interesting mechanics about his passive are that when this character has a Fantastic Four ally or himself go below 50% health, he gets 50% turn meter. All right. So even if somebody's going to try to go kill him, if they get really close and don't quite finish it, he's going to get his turn, and then he's going to ult, and then he's going to wreck face. All right. Another thing to realize about him is that he cannot be stunned. Your instinct is going to go to stun him, and don't do it. Because all he's going to do is clear it right out. You can see it right here on the passive. On stun, clear the stun, and he gets basically a slow. Whoop-de-doo. All right. Now, if there is any Fantastic Four ally or character at all, opponent or not, all right, he's going to do a little bit more damage, and he's going to get a little bit extra focus. The focus at 50% is great, but you got to realize that he lands pretty much anything anyway, so it's a nice to have. You won't even tell it. You'll just take it for granted that he's going to land what he needs to do, and that's it. And then he also gets 50% max health. Okay? So those are all his abilities. They're all really great. Let's get into how it plays. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I also did gave you a little snapshot add to the Doom bots. So the Doom bots, they'll do the same thing as his basic. All right, they're going to hit for 360% damage. Now, mind you, it's nowhere near at the same strength as what Doom would hit for, obviously. But they do apply that disrupt, and they do. It's unavoidable, so it's going to hit, blind or not, regardless. And much like Doom, the Doom bots get the same bonuses for the number of Doom bots out there. So they'll get the defense up for 2, they'll get the speed up for 3, and they'll get the offense up for if they have 4. All right. Now, the other thing to realize too is this piece right here that says on death. So after you ult, you're going to apply deflect to Dr. Doom. So it's a nice little mechanic, but usually the fight's over. You don't really see that. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to use Doom. All right. So the things you got to factor in when it comes to Doom are these. First, if you get him below 50%, he gets 50% turn meter. Which means when you're fighting Doom versus Doom, you really got to factor that in. Because when you open up on their Doom, what's going to happen is that he'll go below 50%, he'll get the turn meter, he'll get his ult, he'll destroy you. All right? So really, when you're choosing your targets and how hard you're going to hit another Doom, factor that in, because then he'll flip it and use it against you. Again, he can't be stunned, and because of his attacks are unavoidable, he really can't be blinded. So the blind will land, but it's a nothing debuff. All right, he's always gonna hit. His Doom bots are always gonna hit. It's there, but it's take it for granted that it's not doing anything. All right. Now, remember when you use the ultimate that you're gonna be then flipping buffs with the basic attack. So again, you get 3 turns. So those first 2 attacks, attack with the basic. Look at the field, see who has what buff on them, which you want to remove/flip, and then target that person. Because the nuke itself will wipe the floor, but you want to remove everything that might prevent them from dying. For instance, if they have defense up, if they have death proof, if they have whatever. So make sure that those first 2 turns of the 3 you get, you're making sure that the Doom nuke kills everything. All right. If it doesn't, you get 3 extra attacks with your next highest damage. And usually you're going to be pairing Doom with one of these 3 people: Kestrel, Black Bolt, or Silver Surfer. And that's a hell of a follow-up. Having Silver Surfer get 3 turns, that's all his abilities. Have Kestrel getting 3 turns, that's all her abilities. It's really, really, a really nice thing to finish off on the off chance that he doesn't wipe the floor. And the other thing you got to factor in when you're using Doom is that he can take a beating, but he is by no means unkillable. So they can use their Kestrels, they can use things like that to drop you. So don't take that big health pool for granted. It can be punched through. You can be wiped before you even get to use the extra 50% turn meter, and therefore you never even get to nuke. All right, so when you're getting attacked by him, when your Doom is getting attacked, keep in mind that they're factoring these things in too, and they're only going to hit you hard enough to finish you up. So know that those are the mechanics with them. All right. Now I'm going to tell you a trick. It's called the double nuke technique. Here's how I like to call it. It's known, but you don't figure it out at first because you get in a habit. So let me tell you what people aren't realizing about Doom. You can use his nuke on the very first turn and still have it come back after you use the ultimate. Okay? You get 3 turns with the ultimate, and if you look at the special, the nuke, it only has a full 4-turn cooldown. So here's how that plays. Your opening move, you're going to use the special or the basic, depending on what's on the field. But if you use the special, you're going to use the special, and then in your very next turn, the ultimate's going to be available. All right. So you get one more. So now you have 1 energy back into your special. Then you get 3 turns. So you're going to basic, that's going to put a second one in there. You're going to basic, it's going to put a third one in there. And then on your third turn, guess what? The third turn, the nuke is available again. Blast that thing, kill them, and then you get to quote the Bhagavad Gita, however you pronounce it, and say, "Behold, I have become the destroyer of the worlds, like your name was Robert Oppenheimer." All right? That's how awesome this technique can be. It's going to get out there, but in the meantime, as people are getting the hang of him, as the people who aren't whales or don't watch videos or anything like that start to play with him, use this technique to make your Doom have the advantage over theirs. And it's really, really cool once you realize that, like, hey, actually, I got 2 nukes out of this guy instead of just the 1. So it's a really cool technique. I like what they did there, and it's kind of sleeper, so have fun with that. All right, and the bad parts about Doom. All right. He is going to feel slow. When you got Kestrels and Silver Surfers and long shots and Zemos and everything else going way ahead of him, you're going to sit there and you're going to be just waiting to use him. It's going to feel like eternity. I'm going to be honest with you. But it's just in comparison to the guys that everybody's using now. He's still really, really bad, really badass. But again, he's going to feel like he's slow. All right. Now, he's worth being maxed as well. What that means is that everybody is going to have a fully maxed Dr. Doom. So for yours to be viable, you got to do the same thing. Meaning you got to T4 everything, you got to G15 them, you got to beat both runs of Dark Dimension, and you got to ISO them to 5. Otherwise, you're not going to be performing on an even tier as the other guy. The other guy is going to do it. You need to do it as well. So it's kind of a bad thing to get him like truly viable. You really got to max him out. The other thing about him is a lot of his damage is done with his bots being on the field to give you that extra 100% per hit. If Kestrel's out there, completely negates him. So it really throws off his timing because if she's charged, your Doom bots aren't going to go out there. You're not going to have the big hit. It won't clear. So you really got to kind of look at the field, and you're going to see a lot of Kestrels. I'm going to be honest with you, but you got to look at the field and work it so that way Kestrel doesn't have her charges before you try to use your nuke. Because if she does, guess what? You're gonna hit, but you're not gonna hit hard at all. So keep that in mind. You're not gonna get the same results. Look at the charges and really see what's going on there. And the other bad part about him is that he had a kind of a limited window. When Kestrel and Silver Surfer came out, they really just kind of limited his time in the sun. He's still really, really good. He's the number 3 character if I had to put my money on it right now. But you know, you put so much time and effort in Dark Dimension. It's a little disappointing to have him trumped right away by Kestrel and Silver Surfer. That being said, though, he's still really, really, really good. He's a game changer, and you're gonna honestly pair the 3 of those together a lot and just destroy things. But if you're missing Doom, you're gonna have a hard time. I'm gonna just be honest with you. All right. So, in summary, Doom was worth the DD4 grind. He adds another level to the game and his power because, again, now you have that third meta character that's kind of just adding different aspects and different mechanics, and everybody's getting used to Silver Surfers and Kestrels, and then you'll see the Doom in there too, and you're like, all right, I gotta change up how I do things. He's viable in all aspects of the game. He's gonna make you better in Doom raids. He's gonna make you better in war. He's gonna make you better in Blitz. He's gonna make you just better. He's a really great character, so have fun with that. And he really is just fun to play. You're gonna love nuking people. You're gonna love having him do that intimidating little stare down he does while the battle's going on, and then you're gonna feel like a badass when he throws his nuke and he wipes the floor, and all his little Doom bots are on his knees for him or whatever. But he's a really good character. So you're gonna have fun. Be hyped, be pumped. Congratulations on your DD4 clear, and have fun with Doom, man. That's all I can say. All right, so I want to thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. Please like and subscribe if you did. Let me know in the comments if there's any topics you would like me to address. And as always, hope you have a great day. Thanks again.